Hello everyone, it's Monica, also known as Sleep After 60, and I'm coming to you on Tuesday, April 11th, 2017, and we had snow last night. It looks like it's almost, I'm sitting in front of my window that faces our pond, and it looks like most of it is gone, but in the Twin Cities, usually until mid-May, we get snow. What are you going to do? Okay, really quickly, stats, because I know that some of you are really interested in that, and I've got it written down. As you know, I'm going to be 64 next month. I'm right under 5'5". My highest recorded weight in this century was in June of 2015, which was 240 pounds. Sometime in 99 or 98 or 99, that was 256 ever. My beginning pre-surgery recorded weight in November was 224. My day of surgery weight was 198. And week number 4, this month has gone by so quickly, right? Was 183.4, which for this week I lost 3.4 pounds. Total weight loss since surgery is 14.6, and since beginning at the university is 40.6 pounds. I had surgery on March 14th, 2017 at University of Minnesota Fairview Hospital with Dr. Daniel Leslie. So now we've done all that. So how do I feel about this? I'm a little surprised because I think that I've lost so much more weight than I thought I would. I thought that I'd be losing like a pound or 2 a week. And according to, it's good to write it down actually, because I wouldn't have remembered. So first week number 1 was 3.8, number 2, 2.4, number 3, 5 pounds, and now 3.4. So really, I just, I'm not going to say I'm overwhelmed yet, but it's something that I will continue to keep talking with my therapist about, because I'm a little surprised, and to be perfectly honest, you all know me, I'm a little scared. Because I was in the 180s a couple of years ago. I think I mentioned that before. I just kind of had this period of, I had changed medication for pain and anxiety and all that, and for some reason it kind of hit my brain in the food or hunger area. So I wasn't overeating, binge eating, but especially not overeating, and I kind of got down. I don't remember exactly, and I tried looking and I couldn't find anything that because when I retired I got rid of a lot of paperwork and date books, and all that stuff. So I don't, but I think I'm pretty sure it's in the 80s. A lot of the clothing that I have from then, at work I used to wear a lot of kind of knit dresses, and I'm back, wearing them. So I think it had to be in the 80s. Things, when you're not taking in carbohydrates, that you get that long, lean sort of look, which I have now. And I was just thinking this morning that a lot of it is like, when you have a baby and you have all those clothes and you have them all hung up, and all of a sudden, your baby's sort of it's too big. Overgrows some of the baby clothes, and I kind of miss opportunities in the last few months of wearing some of my clothes because I didn't think that they would fit, and they probably did. So fears, of course, I've been here before. I've been here many times before, and my fear is that I'll start eating and I won't be able to stop, because that's always what happened in the past. So I think it's realistic. It's my fear, and I will, continue to talk about it with my therapist. because I think that that it's worth continuing to sort of to have that ongoing conversation. So let's see. I do have a VSG, which is I just not a VSG, an NSV, and I had VSG, and I went to get my hair cut yesterday, and I hadn't seen my I hadn't been to my salon since sometime in January, like the end of January or something, you know, and when I saw. One of the issues that I always had was that, you know, the cape always just tugged at my, because I have a huge neck, and being overweight, it's even worse, right? So when I would wear it, I hated it. I would rather have wet, you know, cut hair than go through that. And when she saw me and she said, here's the test, and I was at the third, so usually I was at the very last clip, or the last, you know, whatever you call it, and this time it was 3 from the end. So so there were like 2 free. So on the third one instead of on the last one. So you could tell that, and that was really good, because then I didn't feel that, you know, that I'm sort of, you know, dying over here. So the other thing that I've noticed is that it's interesting, because now it's been 40 pounds that I really hadn't really thought much about, because I was in a stall at 200 and some for so long, for maybe like 6 weeks, after like losing the, you know, the first 20, that I'm now sort of seeing it in the mirror, especially, you know, upstairs in our bedroom. We have this giant mirror when I pass by, and I had these, you know, silk sort of bottom pajamas with like a little like a cotton t-shirt sort of thing, you know, long sleeve, and I sort of had to stop, because then I noticed it. I tend to wear things that are bigger, so I will wear like tights or tight, you know, those tight jeans sort of thing, but then I wear almost like dresses. I tend, when I'm feeling overweight, I tend to do that. So I hadn't really, and this is the part of the, whether it be dysmorphia or whether it be self-talk, it's just, I think it's part of the eating disorder of my personal experience, because, you know, in comparison, you're doing that comparison thing that we all talk about, because I follow many of you, and it's interesting because you'll talk about what size you're in, right? And you'll go into a medium, or you'll go into of course a small later on. But and in my head, I will think, wow, you know, that person weighs what I weigh, and I wear a 1X. And that person wears, you know, a medium or a medium or a large or whatever. So isn't this interesting? And I pretty much wear, you know, the same designer, so it's not like there's a big difference, you know, in sizes. And so it's just how I see myself, which is interesting. So these are all kind of things that I'm noticing, especially just probably in the last week or two, that I wasn't. I mean, I noticed it before, but I wasn't so. I wasn't apt to take as much note. It was always a. That's interesting, you know. Not, oh, you know, am I looking at myself bigger than I am? So now, you know, 40 pounds down. You know, I noticed that again, you know, that I shop in my closet for a while. So that's where I am. Fears of eating again. Yes. In the past, I have even some memories of having, you know, been on a whatever diet, not in recovery, but more on a diet, and then starting, going off the diet. That's why I don't believe in diets and restriction, because then, I can remember one time, it started out with my child who was like 2 years old, so I was the post baby. Maybe he was younger than that. Maybe he was like a year old, and he was having French fries, and they were left over, and cold, nasty French fries. And I can just remember having one and then eating the house. Going into everything in the pantry. So, and other times too. Just going to a party, or sometimes alcohol being involved, where I would have a glass of champagne or a glass of wine, and before you know it, I'd have this, I'd have that, and then I'd come home and I'd, go through cupboards, even though I didn't have a lot of carbohydrates in the house. It's sort of simple carbohydrates, like junk food kind of stuff. Not that I want to, label what's junk food and what's not, but stuff that would start my binge going. So I'm afraid of that. And tomorrow starts my soft foods, and I have to say, it's good that I see my therapist tomorrow, because it's interesting, and I think it's not until maybe 2 weeks, the 20th, so it's only another week or so, that I see my nutritionist. And it'll be interesting to see. I have house guests coming in 2 different weekends at the end of the month. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for me, and how I make that sort of come together. Of course, the only way that I've had to really test the sleeve is actually just one. I've had some soups, and one of them I made a big mistake. I had that carrot ginger soup, which is one of my favorites that normally I eat from. I might even be from Trader Joe's or Pacific, and there are chunks of carrots in it, and I don't know whether it's probably the high sugar content of carrots, but no bueno. It just felt like a brick, and I hadn't had that much, but maybe like a cup, probably more than a half a cup. But it was interesting, like, whoa, that didn't feel good. My tummy is doing all kinds of noises, which I think that perforce in her, to newbies. I think she talked about that. I think that was one of the first things that I wrote down, because I took notes of all those people who were doing things for newbies. And she said there will be noises because, we'll be, my honey and I will be seeing my husband, 5 weeks, will be, cuddled up on the couch, and they'll be like, whoa, and, all these noises that are going on. So I'm having an easier time with the fluids. I did notice that the days that I've gone out and done things, just run errands and things like that, that I don't drink as much, I hit a wall, and it feels like my energy is like just right now. Like I've been sort of running around getting some things done, and I haven't had as much fluids as I probably should have from this morning, and it's already, I should be having lunch. My energy just drops. So I think that's all I have for this week. I know that I'm still dealing with the fact that my YouTube will not take something over 15 minutes, even though I have all that stuff that they say to do, I've done, but it will not. So I don't know. Probably need to go sit with the Apple people. So I'm going to hurry up and say goodbye. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for all your wonderful messages that you sent me. Besos to all. Bye-bye.